Welcome to Season 5, Episode 2 of Viking Radio Theatre. With students taking full credit course loads and working multiple jobs and countless other responsibilities, we bring to you their creative works from the last month here on Viking Radio Theatre. And to get our episode started, we have Ardyn Honda's Mothman's Boyfriend. Just start? Oh, okay. Hi, my name's Sam, I live in Chicago, and my boyfriend is Mothman.
This is Mona Music, and you're listening to Spotlight. In terms of the pseudoscience of cryptozoology, Mothman is one of the most recent to be discovered. The first sighting dates back to just 1966. Sightings generally describe Mothman as a large humanoid with wings reminiscent of a bat and eyes that glow red in the night.
I mean, I don't know if he's the first Mothman or if there's been different Mothmans. Mothmen? But this one's mine, and he prefers to go by Steven, not Mothman. Just so you know for the rest of this.
Clendon, a small town in West Virginia with a population of just over 1,500, was the location of the first sighting by 5 men digging a grave. Similar reports of a large brown humanoid in the sky around the town followed in the next days, though wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith attributed the sightings to a red hill crane due to its brown coloring and its red flesh around the eye.
Steven is definitely not a red hill crane or whatever. I'm pretty sure I'd know. Sure, he has a fondness for fish, but who doesn't? Actually, we just went out for a sushi date the other day. Well, I bought some and brought it back for us. It was pretty great. Salmon is his favorite.
The appearances of Mothman have been rumored to be connected to natural disasters within the area. The first occurrence of this was back in the town of Clendon. After the first sighting of Mothman, a local bridge collapsed. The collapse of the Silver Bridge is commemorated with a placard and a metal statue of Mothman that stands 12 feet tall with eyes of ruby red. The 50th anniversary of the bridge collapse is coming up, while the 16th annual Mothman Festival occurs in September. Despite the first sighting in 1966, similar unexplained instances have occurred previously that bear similarity to the sightings in the 60s. One of the most notable comes from the Shawnee tribe, where a similar figure appears in the lore. Others speculate that Mothman may be an angel, a demon, or maybe the product of a blood curse put upon Clendon by Shawnee Chief Cornstalk.
He's a big fan of sunglasses. I'm pretty sure he's hoarding them at this point. With how many he owns, I don't even know how he buys them. It's not like he has a job other than just being Mothman. I guess it's pretty cute though. And it keeps him from wandering off after bright lights. I had to get used to him disappearing sometimes though. We hooked him up with a phone the last time he left for a few weeks. But he doesn't really give anyone a heads up before leaving.
Just as sightings have occurred in 1966, Mothman's territory seems to expand out of the small West Virginia town. In 1976, sightings in England were reported, striking similarities to the sightings 10 years previous in America. Even now, sightings continue to pour out from across the country. Most recently was an influx of sightings in Chicago just last year.
Chicago? Oh yeah, we were there on vacation just last summer. As a whole family reunion kind of thing. My parents love him, but the rest of the family wasn't as receptive at our family dinners. We also did a lot of sightseeing in the area that summer. Work doesn't let me go on vacation very often, so I've got to take advantage of it.
Sightings in Chicago were primarily centered around the heart of the city, although the map recorded sightings of Mothman as well as Owlman and Manbat. These other cryptids are frequently reported in tandem with Mothman sightings, as well as described as large, flying humanoid creatures, and bear striking similarities in eyewitness reports.
Oh, I just got a text from Steven. I'm going to be heading out. He wants to get coffee before we go out on our camping trip this weekend. We're heading to the beach this time since there are fewer lights for him to get distracted by. So I guess I'll see you around? And that was Mothman's Boyfriend by Ardyn Honda. Voice acted by Mona and Jacob Torres. And now we're going to dig into the Viking Radio Theatre archives, originally intended for episode 1 of this season. Fantom Finders, first, Fantom Finders by Cyd Dahl.
Alright, you got all your gear? Camera? Radio? Fake EMF meter?
Chill, Rachel. I got him all set up. He's got everything.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time you've forgotten something.
I think I've got everything. Are you sure this place isn't haunted?
Why, are you scared?
No, you?
Relax, newbie. There's no such thing as ghosts.
Funny thing for the head of a ghost hunting web show to say.
Don't worry, Jack. I do some pretty in-depth research on the abandoned buildings we film in to make sure we're good to go. No specters here.
Oh, give me a break, Lee. Don't tell me you believe in ghosts.
All I'm saying is that I don't want us to be caught unaware and having to run off to the local Catholic church to get Miss Skeptic over here in exorcism.
Very funny. But it's time to get started. You remember the plan, Jack?
I remember the plan.
Lee's staying here at base camp, I'll be in the east wing, and you're taking the west wing. Here, make sure you say the lines on that note card when you start filming with your camera, then activate the radio.
I've got the tripod set up. Let's do the intro.
Okay, get over here, Jack. Now stand. See that X? Yeah, stand right there. No, look where I'm pointing.
Cut the kid some slack, Rach.
Sorry.
Okay, is it on?
Yeah, you're good to go. 3, 2, 1, action!
Welcome, skeptics and believers, to the Fantom Finders. I'm your host, Rachel Cook, and give it up for our Grand Master of Technology, Lee Manson.
And introducing our newbie, who will be replacing the Radiant Gene for Season 3, Jack Bates.
It's great to be here.
Tonight, the three of us will be staying overnight at the Grand Amity Hotel, one of the most haunted hotels in the county.
My preliminary research revealed that back in the 1800s, the owner, Cameron MacDonald, killed his wife in one of the ballrooms before hanging both his wife and himself from one of the many massive chandeliers.
The three of us are all geared up and ready to go, so let's go find some phantoms, because we're the, just like we practice,
Fantom Finders.
Cut! Good take, guys. I think we're good to go. You ready to go, newbie?
As ready as I'll ever be, I think. Why, you think there's a ghost of a chance that I'll back out?
That's the spirit.
Ugh, knock it off like I haven't already heard them all.
Everyone's cameras are on. Head out! I'll monitor the feeds from here.
Hey, Jack, you're short on cash and need acting experience. Why not answer an ad for a Ghostbuster for hire? That sounds like a fun role. Not like you'll actually be hunting ghosts or anything. Jeez. Oh, yeah, read the thing. Jack here. I'm investigating the West Wing where the most cold spots and mysterious noises have been reported. Let's see what specters are roaming these old halls. Awesome, this will be so much fun. Hey, guys.
Newbie, glad to finally have you on Radio Lee.
Did you read the note card? You're supposed to read it before you turn on the radio.
I read it, don't worry.
Good.
I'm moving towards the ballrooms. Hey, why did you guys give me the part of the hotel that's supposedly the most haunted?
Oh, Lee, you'll cut this part out, right? Okay, so, since this is your first episode, the audience really loves it when the new people experience the most hauntings and totally freak out. You're an actor, right? Well, act terrified. People eat it up.
Yeah, okay, shouldn't be too hard. Lee, you can see through the camera, right? Where am I going?
Take the stairs on your left, then down the hallway on your right.
Wow, I can really feel the spiritual presence in here. The EMF meter is off the charts. Lee, are you getting all this?
That's crazy, Rachel. I got cold spots all over the room. What about you, newbie? Got anything in the West Wing?
Yeah, there's a lot of creepy vibes going on in this weird hallway. Lee, where to next?
Third door from the stairs on the right, then the next door on your left.
Jack, you've got to do better than that. Remember, we are paying you. If I can't get any usable footage out of you, you're not getting a penny out of me.
Alright, I'm in the ballroom. Wow, it's actually really creepy in here.
Yeah, there's a reason the local legends are based in there. Can you see the chandelier? Oh, lean the camera up, would you?
There's some, serious spiritual energy coming from the chandelier in the center of the room.
I'm getting the same thing over here, Jack. Spirits! Can you hear me? Show me a sign that you're there.
What was that?
Aw, man, just like that. That was so much better. Lee, did you get that?
No, I actually heard something.
Come on, Rach, get in character. Jack's doing a better job than you.
Whatever. It seems like our newest ghost hunter is experiencing some ghostly activity. Jack, where are you and what are you experiencing?
No, seriously, guys, I hear something.
I'll check the thermal cameras I have set up.
I can hear a scraping noise. I think it's coming from the corner.
It's your duty as a Fantom Finder to check it out.
Really, guys, I don't know about this.
Looks like our newbie is experiencing some ghost getting cold feet.
No, it is really cold in here. The temperature just dropped like 10 degrees. Oh, God, I can see my own breath.
Damn, kid, you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
This isn't for the show. I swear I'm not acting for your bullcrap web whatever. There's something else in this room with me. God, I can feel it staring at me.
Well, looks like our veteran ghost hunter is going to have to head over there and help the newbie out. Rachel, I can see Jack in the thermal cameras. He's... Huh.
What?
What?
Well, that's a little weird. I'm definitely picking up a lot of cold air centered on Jack in Ballroom 3.
What?
Wow, that's incredible. Jack, what can you see?
I can't see anything. I'm just hearing these weird thuds. I swear to God, Rachel, I'm not making this up. I don't care about your fake web show. I don't even care about the stupid money anymore. Just get me out of here.
God, chill out, Jack. You're ruining everything.
Rachel, this is serious. There's an actual cold spot next to Jack. It's... Oh God, it looks like a person.
Holy... Lee, get me out of here right now.
Okay. Third door. No, not that one. One more.
Oh crap.
Man, he is really earning his keep.
Rach, I really don't think he's acting.
No crap, Casper. What the heck, Lee? You said this place wasn't haunted.
I swear I did all my research. There were only local legends, no documented deaths on the premises. Take that staircase, the one on your left.
Oh, come on, Jack. It's not that funny anymore.
It's getting closer. Lee, I don't recognize anything. I swear if you lead me down the wrong way.
I don't. Try the door on your right. I should be right.
What? How did I end up back in the ballroom? Lee?
I don't understand. How did you...
He's here.
This is gonna be the best episode so far.
Jack, can you hear me? Jeez, did you hear that?
Were those all practical effects? Who knew the kid was so talented, huh? How does his camera work?
Rachel, you need to get down there now. Jack's camera is totally cut off. All I've got is a dead screen. The thermal is showing two figures, and one of them definitely isn't moving. What if there's some crazy guy in here or something and he's hurt Jack?
Fine. I'll go check on him. Down this hallway?
Yeah. Wait, the second figure just vanished. How is that possible?
Probably just a draft or some kind of technical interference. That's happened to us before, right?
Not this detailed. I mean, I could make out a head, Rach.
Maybe we're dealing with the Headless Horseman then.
Get serious! There were arms and stuff too. Are you close? I'm worried about Jack.
Yeah, just outside the door now.
What the hell? There's no one here.
No, that can't be right. I can see something. Jack should be in the middle of the room.
There's no one in here, Lee. Ugh, ew. What was that? Something just dripped on me.
I don't understand. Jack should be right there. You're practically on top of... Rachel? Rachel, don't look up. Don't look at the chandelier.
Where is this water coming from? It's warm.
Rachel, for the love of God, don't look up.
What are you...
And that was Fantom Finders by Cyd Dahl. Edited by Tessa Vroom. And now for Last Wild Places.
Grandma! I made you a drawing!
Oh my goodness! That is the loveliest hand turkey I have ever seen! I am so proud of you, Clarice!
Oh yeah, Mom, I did too.
That's nice, dearie. Your father could use some help out back. Why don't you go there?
Hi, I'm Sammy Shorthand of Cosmetic Adjustments. Here at Cosmetic Adjustments, we work to help people claim back the little things without resorting to fits of jealousy and or violence. Every year as people get older, they start to become less and less important in the eyes of their parents and guardians. Unfortunately, this has led to an unfortunate increase in holiday-related incidents, resulting in traumatizing childhood injuries.
Hey, Mom, I made you a drawing.
Wow, Tommy! This is a very realistic turkey!
Thanks, Mom, I traced it with my hand.
Oh my goodness! What have you done to your hand?
We know people will do anything to reclaim any kind of attention, so we listen carefully to whatever ideas they bring to our office, and do our best to make those horrifying fantasies come to life.
Ever since I came into Cosmetic Adjustments, my relationship with my parents has never been the same. They turned my hand into the perfect turkey shape. Oh, that's a parenthesis. Without asking any awkward questions. Thank you, Cosmetic Adjustments.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weekly Wrap-Up, where we run down some of the more interesting news stories from the week. Unfortunately, my regular co-host is out tonight recovering from an illness, so let's all give a warm welcome to our guest host, Alex.
Good to be here, Jane.
It's good to have you on the show. I'm told you've prepared some of your own stories for tonight?
Yeah, I found some really interesting stuff that I am excited to share.
Awesome! I can't wait to hear what you've come up with. Our first story of the night is for all of our listeners over at Western Washington University. Now, I'm told that there have been numerous reports of voyeurism on campus, last year and now this term as well. Alex, do you have any input about how concerned students should be about this?
I'm going to be honest with you, this is the first time I've heard about this. I don't really watch a lot of news.
And here you are, the guest anchor on a news show. Why is this person here again? Really? We couldn't find this as a problem for students living on campus. In fact, it says here that there were reports of a man filming 2 students in a dorm during the first week of school.
What a way to start the year, huh?
No kidding. Now, Alex, I do have a few more news stories to share this evening, but you're up next. What have you uncovered for us?
The Denver airport is haunted.
Excuse me?
The Denver airport. As in the airport in Colorado, it is haunted.
No, I heard you. Let me, clarify my question. What's the story here?
The airport is haunted.
Uh-huh, I got that. And why are we talking about this?
Well, I thought it was interesting, and this show is all about interesting things, right?
I mean, interesting news stories, sure.
Yeah, and I thought this was pretty interesting stuff. Did you know there might be secret bunkers constructed beneath the airport?
I can't say I knew that. If you don't mind my asking, where did you get this information?
I read some articles. They seem pretty credible, you know.
What was the source for these articles?
BuzzFeed.
Okay, moving on.
But I didn't even talk about all the Holocaust paintings.
Our next story comes to us from Detroit, Michigan, where 11 infant corpses were found in the ceiling of a funeral home. The bodies were discovered after an anonymous letter tipped off local authorities. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting. In a false ceiling between the first and second floors. While this is an incredibly tragic discovery, you have to acknowledge the ingenuity and mystery behind that false ceiling stunt.
That's some real Sherlock Holmes type stuff right there. Or Nancy Drew, I don't know, something.
Absolutely. Apparently, the funeral home has been closed since April, when the owner's license was revoked after an inspection. This is probably one of the biggest funeral home scandals outside of the Tri-State incident.
Tri-State?
Long story, lots of corpses, it was terrible. The Detroit police are still looking into this incident, but they've already begun identifying the remains and contacting families. I can only hope that the perpetrator here will be brought to justice, and that the truth will be uncovered.
That's awfully profound.
Right. You're up. What have you got to share with us?
So this story isn't as recent as what's usually on this show, but I thought it was interesting enough that you might make an exception.
For our audience, please note that we have not screened any of what Alex is presenting tonight. Thank you. Do I even want to hear the story?
Now shifts to Gakona, Alaska, where scientists are now capable of arming the weather.
I'm pretty sure that's not right.
Shh, let me finish. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HARP for short, was supposedly built to monitor the upper atmosphere, or something scientific, but it turns out they've been using it to control the weather, or to control our minds. There's no telling what they're doing with this antenna.
Well, if the project was intended to monitor the atmosphere...
Did I say this antenna? I mean those antennas. There are 180 antennae in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, and no one has really been monitoring what these scientists are even doing with them. It could be anything. It's called the Ionospheric Research Instrument. Who knows what that even means? If you ask me...
We didn't.
If you ask me, they gave it an official sounding name so that people wouldn't question and figure out what these scientists are really doing and controlling our minds and the weather. It's worse than the NSA monitoring your phone camera all the time. You know what these new phones are selling? Can't actually remove the batteries, so you can't turn them off. The government has access to your phone 24/7. You can't stop it. The media is in cahoots with them.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to the story before we continue to our next news piece of the evening?
Actually, yes. It's been proven that HARP was used to cause the 2010 earthquake in Haiti. And the governor of Minnesota has gone on record saying that it's used to control the weather. And it's going to flip the Earth's magnetic poles one day, and probably soon. That's all, thanks.
Fantastic. Moving on, we turn to a slightly more local story based out of Seattle. The city is known for many things, including its advancements with handling the homeless crisis. One of the most interesting developments being tiny houses, and the villages of them constructing to house homeless people. These villages are contracted by Share and Nicholsville, but these organizations will no longer be providing housing to homeless individuals because of a lack of funding from the city.
You know, I watched a documentary on tiny houses once.
Unless this has something to do with the story, I'm not interested.
Oh.
The cuts in funding are resulting from disagreements between the organization and local authorities over how these villages should be managed. The city's focus is outcome-based, emphasizing that they want their homeless population to be able to move into permanent shelter, while the Share organization is focusing on providing a sense of community, autonomy, and safety to village residents. These disputes will likely come to a head soon when the city council votes on whether to renew permits for these villages and on budget cuts to Share programs. And now to Alex for our next story of the evening.
Right. Well, anyway, you might have heard of the growing number of severed feet washing up onto the beaches in Pacific Northwest. Know anything about it, Jane?
Can't say that I do, but it doesn't surprise me either.
I'd imagine not much surprises you at this point.
You'd be surprised.
Well, it's pretty alarming stuff. Walking along the beach and just finding a severed foot. That's not something you'd expect, so naturally, people are concerned and confused over this, and looking for answers. Several media outlets have written stories about this ongoing issue, but there are still questions about it.
And what are the media outlets saying, exactly? Which ones? I'm not accepting BuzzFeed as an answer this time.
Of course not. The Washington Post has covered this story. I think CNN and NPR too. It's attracted a lot of attention. I mean, like I said, it's not every day you find a severed foot on the beach and still in its shoe.
Right.
Supposedly,
It's a perfectly normal occurrence. And these feet all belong to people who drowned or were lost at sea, so these limbs end up washing ashore, shoes included.
I've been told that fish eat the bodies, but they can't get past the shoes.
I mean, that's as likely as any story, except that I'm not buying it.
Let's be clear. You're not buying it, or there's evidence to contradict this.
I said what I mean.
There
are a good handful of theories as to why these feet keep washing ashore, and so frequently too. Between 2007 and 2016, there have been 16 reports of these feet being found.
Well, if you get enough bodies in the water, and if people are starting to look for these shoes, that's not that surprising.
Don't tell me you believe that swill.
Swill? Really? Why shouldn't I believe it? It's a perfectly rational, logical explanation for everything.
That's exactly what they want you to believe.
And who is they?
You know, them. They're listening right now. I can't say too much.
Okay. Okay, sure, whatever. Please, continue.
Thank you, Jane. It's nice to be taken seriously here.
I'm sure you don't get a lot of that.
I'll choose to ignore that statement, because most of the feet that have been washed up are also right feet, which becomes very significant when you realize that criminals are taking people's left feet, selling them on the black market, and dumping whatever body parts they can't sell on the black market.
I'm sorry, why would they be taking left feet specifically?
I mean, well, why not?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
Anyways, another theory is that a serial killer has been committing a string of murders and dumping bodies into the ocean after dismembering their victims.
Wait a second, correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Please leave this to the professionals, Jane. The media has said that there are no connections between any of the incidents of these feet being discovered. But that's just what they want you to think. I think it's really a government cover-up for a widespread killing spree. They're murdering dissenters and the people you know that what's really happening in the world, everyone deemed a threat. The people who can spread the truth, exposing their lies, the corruption, all of their misdeeds,
Whoa, no, I don't think that's what's really happening here.
That's what they want you to think. They want you to think you know I'm telling the truth.
How about we agree that the truth is subjective and leave it at that?
No. Jane, I am going to get in trouble for this. They're going to come find me, but
oh, wow, would you look at the time? That's it for tonight, folks. Sorry to disappoint. Thanks again to Alex for guest reporting. We've really appreciated all of your time and effort tonight. Cut to commercial. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening, and that's it for this week's Weekly Wrap-Up. Nice.
This weekly wrap-up was brought to you by Emily Feeke. Music by none other than Chelsea Peter. And on this episode of Viking Radio Theatre, we have a very special musician with us here, Serafima Healy. For her first song, Memory Song.
I'm Serafima Healy. I like to play music, and I like to laugh a lot.
First time I played you, I fell in love. It was a love so gentle and true, but something in my heart won't let me settle down. So give me one more goodbye kiss, 'cause I'm leaving town. Sometimes this road, it gets lonely. Sometimes you still get stuck in my head. But what's a girl to do when she's always on the move? And being alone's the only life she knows. stars, and the shore it has the sea. But all I have in my back pocket is your worn and fading memory.
For all you listeners, this is Serafima. Before we get too far into this interview, what is your favorite album?
Okay, that's a good question. My favorite album of all time is the Beach Boys' Friends album. Everyone hates it. Everyone's like, that's the worst Beach Boys album ever, but it's so good and you have to listen to it all the way through, and every time I listen to it, I have a deep spiritual experience.
Now, for these next songs that you played for us for this episode, what inspired them?
Probably, so my grandparents have always lived in Tucson, Arizona, and that's where my family, like my dad's side of the family, spends a lot of their time, and a lot of them are from there. And I love going down there, and I absolutely hate the winter. Like, so in Bellingham, it's so cold and gray and drab all the time, and thinking about the sun and, like, the heat of Arizona and, like, feeling like there's, like, when you go down there, the mold is going off of your body because there's so much mold here in the Pacific Northwest. It's gross. So that is one of the things. Also just trying to be awesome and cool, girl powery, because I feel like a lot of people, when they think of country, they think of, like, woman oppression, which is sad. But not my country.
Well, thanks again, Serafima Healy, and I hope you have a great evening.
She was a good girl, she said her prayers, she never drank whiskey and she never stared. Cherry white lips and big brown eyes, her dark hair curled just right. Baby, baby, so innocent, baby, baby, so hard to resist. She gave an inch and he took a mile, started chipping away her shining smile. What's a girl to do if he says he loves you, and your whole life you've been taught to say it back? He demands your words need to be proved. When did love turn into attack? Baby, baby, so innocent, baby, baby, so hard to resist. She gave an inch, he took a mile, started chipping away at her shining smile. Now she's running round with every boy in town, and who can blame her when it's all you ever raised her to be? And who can blame her when it's all you ever thought she could be? A good girl, she said her prayers, she never drank whiskey and she never stared. Cherry white lips and big green eyes, her dark hair curled just right. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pulling out your driveway and I'm not looking back. I'm a quarter-inch cable in my happy paperback, and baby, I'm moving down the line, 'cause I finally got you off my mind. I don't need your company, baby, I'm happy being free. Oh, I'm not coming around these parts no more. You can turn your back right off, shut the screen door, honey, I'm not coming around here anymore. We can out the screen door, honey, I'm not coming around here anymore. Honey, I'm not coming around here anymore.
And those last two songs by Serafima Healy were Livin' a Lie and Screen Door. And now a look at the many ways that people have hung out with people they call friends. In Madeline Virtue's The Evolution of Human Friendship. Ancient Times.
What you doing this weekend?
Moving some big rocks. Wanna join?
Sure. Should I bring food?
Heck yeah.
In the time of ancient Greece.
What you doing this weekend?
Going to see Socrates' new play. Wanna join?
Sure. Should I bring wine?
Heck yeah.
And today.
What you doing this weekend?
Lying on the floor. Wanna join?
Sure. Should I bring snacks?
Heck yeah.
Voiced by Madeline Virtue and Cora Shields. And now it's time for The Little Automaton, Part 2, written by Madeline Virtue. Tonight we follow the mysterious carnival music to where we left Wilson in our last episode. Before, Wilson was lost without his mother and followed two strangers. And let's see where Wilson is off to in this episode.
When we last left Wilson, she was being guided to a carnival outside of town by a pair of questionable gentlemen. We join her now in the big top tent.
How will Professor Crow help me find my mother?
Professor Crow is a master of many talents.
Wilson kicks her wooden legs against the gaudy upholstered chair. She felt very small sitting there between her new friends, surrounded by the performers practicing their routines. Through the crowd, a figure emerges.
So you're Wilson?
I think so. My mom told me I am.
Such a small thing. And you cannot find this mother of yours?
She disappeared. Didn't come back to the lab. Do you know where she is?
I do not know where your mother is. But our show does travel, and if you work for me, I can pay you some good coin in the interim.
And so Wilson agreed to Professor Crow's proposal.
Will traveling help me find my mom?
It certainly will. Come, tour the carnival with me.
Step right up. Hit the bells. 4, 1, 2, any takers.
Dozens of tents and stalls circled the big top. Wilson could see things she'd never even heard of before. So many creatures and people. She couldn't even quite tell which were which half of the time.
This is an elephant, Wilson. She's just a baby. We picked her up on our travels.
What's her name?
Oh. Well, she doesn't have one at the moment.
Wilson stroked the nervous elephant's trunk.
I'll call her Button.
Professor Crow led Wilson away from the elephant and farther into the carnival, past the freak show tents where Wilson marveled at the talents of people there.
Can I pet your beard?
Now, it's rude to ask to touch a woman's beard.
Crow quickly led her away.
Why?
Step in here and I'll explain.
Hey, let me out!
This is part of our agreement.
I said I would work for you. This isn't that.
Oh, my dear, you have so much to learn.
And so Wilson is left, caged and friendless. But we leave her story for another time.
Get your popcorn.
Ring toss, ring toss.
And that was The Little Automaton, Part 2, by Madeline Virtue. Narrated by Cora Shields, Wilson by Madeline Virtue, and Professor Crow by Jennifer Harbick. Tune in next month to see where Wilson is off to next on Viking Radio Theatre. And that concludes Season 5, Episode 2 of Viking Radio Theatre. We all hope you enjoy our radio programming, and tune in next time on Viking Radio Theatre.